Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're looking for the perch on the river. The rivers have been pretty much knackered since Christmas time, so it might take some looking, but we're going to just keep on our toes, handful of casts per swim, and just try and track them down. I think when we find them, we should probably find a few of them, or even all of them. But the hard part is going to be finding them. The catching of them should be fairly elementary. I brought two setups with me today. I've got my new-ish 6'10" Legend Tournament bass, and I've got a brand new rod for me, a 6'8" medium extra fast Bass X in casting. I paired that up with a SLX DC 151 HG, fluorocarbon straight through. You might remember that I mentioned that in a video a few whiles. If you mentioned that in a video, hold on, start again. I mentioned that in a few videos ago that I might want a casting setup to fish my Texas rigs, so I can run a fluorocarbon straight through. It just allows me to access those deeper holes a little bit better. So we're giving that a run out today. I've not used it yet, so hopefully we can christen it. I'm getting out of breath because I'm trying to talk and walk at the same time. As a side note, you may have noticed in the last few videos, if you look in the description, I'm now going to start listing all my gear. So rod, reel, mainline, leader, lures, all those sort of things, and links to where you can buy them for yourself. So if you do want a list of my full setup, have a look in the description, it will be in there, and hopefully that should answer a few of the questions I get via Facebook and Instagram and everywhere else. So I'm actually out of breath. Let's find some perch. There we go, first cast. Well, first cast in this swim. You wouldn't have seen it because I didn't save any footage from the last few swims, but I've had 2 or 3 casts in 2 swims. First cast in the right swim into a fish. I don't think it's big. No, it's not. We've had to swing this one, but it is a start, which is good. Not a monster, very fit fish. Come on, it wasn't coming off. There we go. Not a monster, but a start on the Swing Impact Fat in black, of course. Audio's probably absolute trash on this. In a very exposed swim. Wind's cutting right down the river, making it very awkward. A, to feel bites, B, to film. Let's try creature bait. Not sure we'll quite get the distance I need with this, but I'll give it a go. Bad. Yep, creature bait was the one. This looks like a decent fish. Creature bait was the one. Be a good one. Oh yes, not a monster, but we will take that. slowing it down is the key. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There we go. First reasonable fish. Oh my God, that wind's a nightmare. You're not going to hear me, but it's done quick. It's not a massive fish. We want to catch a bigger one than that. Z-Man Helicraw on a 7 gram free rig. My camera's going to fall over if I'm not quick. We get this one back. It's about 35, 36, I guess. So not a huge fish, not the sort of size we're after. 40 pluses only. I think we worked something out though. There's creature baits on the bottom. It's going to be the one, I think. Right, I haven't actually measured the fish now. It's 33 centimetres. So about 7 centimetres short of what we're after. And there it goes. But hopefully we twigged something. I'll have a few more casts for the creature bait. This wind's making it really difficult, and I think what I might do is set up a drop shot on the other rod. It's not my most favoured way of fishing, but I can overweight it and still be able to fish the bait effectively and keep it in the zone a bit better, and still fish close to the bottom, where I think these fish are. I had that small fish first cast, and then maybe another 10 casts without a bite on the shad. First cast with a creature bait and I had a fish, so I've got to feel like the fish want it close to or on the deck. I think drop shot might be, yeah, I think it might be the way to do it. Maybe one more cast on a creature bait on a free rig, and if nothing, I think that's the way I'm going to go. Okay, right, nothing on the creature bait. Let's quickly whip together a drop shot and see what we can do with that. Okay, I set up a drop shot. First time I fished a drop shot for perch in, wow, well, in the river especially, done it on the reservoirs, I guess. Ages, I can't think of the last time. Let's see if it was the right move. There we go. On the drop shot. Feels like a decent fish as well. That was worth the switch over. Really subtle bite, just a touch. No, I wouldn't even call it a tap. The drop shot is quite important to get out of that sort of Texas rig mindset of really slamming the hook. You just got to wind into them rather than really driving hooks home. That's a decent fish. Ooh. That's a decent fish. Get in the net. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Try and show you this, and there you go. There's that drop shot hook, right where you want it, right on the front of the nose. We get this fish unhooked and measured, and get you a closer look. And there we go. That is 37 centimetres of river perch goodness on a drop shot. First decent perch I've had in a drop shot for as long as I can remember, so it's worth setting it up. I think I had 2 or 3 casts, got it in the right place. Biggest fish of the session. We've had 3 fish so far, 1 on the shad, 1 on the free rig, and 1 on the drop shot. Let's see what wins out as the day goes on. Tell you what, if this wind just drops off a little bit, this will be absolutely perfect. Just about feeling it. Things with a drop shot or anything like that, you sort of have to keep your tip up to be able to work it and feel for bites. And it's hard with the wind being quite strong because it's sort of cutting across. I'm trying to reduce the wind drag by keeping my tip low, but I'm having to bring my tip up to actually work the bait. Yeah, it's a quandary for a perch fisherman. Another one on drop shot. Doesn't feel very big. A lot closer, this one. Maybe it's alright. Feels a bit shaky to be a really big fish. It's not a bad one. Oh, it's really not a bad one actually. There we go. Still not quite the size we're looking for, but 34 centimetres and another one on the drop shot. Definitely the right tactic change. We're just gonna keep fishing now and just try and work through some numbers and hopefully bump into a real monster, but I'm having plenty of fun. And for me, saying I'm having fun fishing drop shot is something for the record books. So we'll get it back and carry on fishing. Oh God, that one nearly took it out of my hand. Jesus Christ. Be a good one. Be a good one. It's not a monster. Good God, it's fun though. Absolutely walloped it. Alright, I won't bother putting this one on the big camera, but another one to the drop shot. Oh, that's a good bite. That's a good bite, that. Oh, this almost feels like a pike. I feel grating. Oh, it's a nice perch. It's a nice perch. That's me fiddling about on my phone, looking at someone's pike on Facebook. That's drop shot for you. Well, there we go. That's the biggest one of the day so far. It always happens when you're not expecting it. I was just considering switching again off the drop shot. I've had maybe half a dozen, maybe even 8 or 10 casts with no bites, and then piddling around on Facebook, looking at someone's pike catches from today, and the biggest one of the day turns up, 39 centimetres. So very pleased with it. Not quite the 40, but we're creeping closer and closer, so that's a good sign. By the end of the day, I'd hope we get there. The audio is probably trash for this because I'm having to sit right in the wind to balance with the sunlight and the wind, and I've gone for the sunlight so you can actually see the fish. If you can't hear my dulcet tones, then I'd rather you see the fish. Whoa, no! Right, let's get this fish back. Okay, it's gotten a little bit quiet, so I'm just going to run you through a few things I do with a drop shot rig, which maybe not the norm. So, firstly, I like to use a really long leader when I'm drop shot fishing, mainly because it gives me the option to cut my hook off and retie without having to tie a whole new leader. Basically, I can just lose the section sort of from the hook down, and that way I can just reuse it basically and just keep retying a leader without, or retying onto that leader without tying a whole new leader. Hook wise, I think these are the VMC hooks. I can't remember the actual model, but like I said, with all my videos now, I'm going to do my best to, well, I'm going to do a list of my gear in the description. You can see the shape there, that's the shape I like for my drop shot. I like that little bend, or a little notch in the bend at the bottom there, just locates your bait quite nicely. I think this is a size, I'm going to say size 6. I might be wrong on that. Again, I'll let you know in the description. All links will be there. And then at the bottom, I've actually tied my lead on. I've got a 7 gram, it's a free rig, or a fast hatchy type weight rather than an actual drop shot lead. I've tied it on because it is quite snaggy here, but I don't want to be losing a lead every other cast. And all I do is just between my hook and my lead, I just tie a couple of, if you can see that, just about, tie a couple of overhand knots just to make that a sort of weak link. So if a leg does get stuck, that'll snap, but you're far less likely to lose your leads, especially using tungsten. It's quite expensive. Now, I use a drop shot knot to tie my hook on. Got a mouthful of dust then. A drop shot knot to tie my hook on. I'm sure that wind sounds fantastic. It's actually moving the hook. How my camera blew over. Yeah, anyway, I use a drop shot knot to tie my hook on, and the reason for that is I want it to stand proud like that off of my rig. I don't want it floppy, and I know some people use a Palomar and things like that. It's just not the one. The drop shot knot is for drop shot. Learn it. I'll maybe see if I can link a knot tutorial in the description for someone if you want to tie it. And mainly the way I hook my drop shot baits, so a lot of people, if this is your bait, and I'm using shad today, but this works with creature baits or whatever you want to use as well. Most people will say, you know, hook through the bottom of your bait and just nick it, and don't get me wrong, that's great, but see what happens there? Your bait tends to drop and sag, and it sinks and floats and drops down the hook shank, especially after you caught a couple of fish and that hole sort of widens out. So what I tend to do, I hook it like you would be hooking a jig head. So I take my hook, I go in through the nose and just thread the bait around to the bend, all the way. I've gone a bit far there, all the way like that. Now that way, that bait stands out lovely and proud away from the rig. Plus your hook's that little bit further back in the bait, so if you get fish that are just sort of tail nipping, they're more likely to get that hook than they would do if you're just hooking for the nose. So that's something a little bit different. Maybe not everyone does, that I do. Might make a difference and might land you the odd fish. I think I might have just one last cast on a drop shot and then switch back to a creature bait for a minute, just for a change. Just see if you can pick up the fish that have seen the drop shot and don't want it, because there'll be fish like that. In every shoal you'll have fish that want one thing over the other. Not all going to want the same thing. And I've had quite a few casts with this now. I've probably been fishing a drop shot for, I don't know, 40 minutes, maybe a little bit more. So I think in a minute it's going to be worth having another change. I didn't have that many casts with a creature bait before I decided that a drop shot was the better presentation. I did have a fish, so I think it's worth just dragging something through, just to see if I can pick up a fish that's seen the drop shot and didn't want it. There's a few things, I will probably go over my rig in a bit more detail later, because there's a few things I do with drop shot which is maybe different to some of us. But one thing I just sort of noticed I'm doing sort of subconsciously, you might notice that I'm holding my reel forward of the seat, so, or holding my rod I should say forward of the reel seat, just on the foregrip, rather than sort of how I would usually sort of like with fingers either side of the reel. Just done that just so I can use my index finger to touch the blank. With drop shot, you know, like I said earlier, some of these bites, some of them have been really violent because they've been close, but some of the bites where I'm at distance, you might only just be a dink, just a really subtle, not even a tap, just a pull, and just having that direct contact to the blank can make the difference between feeling it and not feeling it, especially when you're fishing so slow or almost static with a drop shot. You know, they've got time to pick it up and spit it back out, so you need to be able to react quite quickly, and that direct contact to your blank is quite important, if you ask me, and it's not something everyone is probably aware of. I mean, obviously there's a lot of factors to that. Your setup's got to be right. You know, be no good touching that if I'm using a 40-gram rod and 50-pound braid, but you know, my setup's balanced. I'm using 9-pound braid, an extra fast rod, very sensitive, so all the things put together, that little extra percentage probably means I land a few fish that I wouldn't do if I wasn't doing that, or at least I feel the bites. Whether I land a fish or not is not really related, but hopefully that's a little tip one of you might pick up and think, oh, I could introduce that into my own fishing. I didn't even retrieve anything then. I just cast. It's a fish on. Just static. I was replying to a nice Facebook message. It was a lot of bad fish as well. The old drop shot, eh? Oh, net's not set up. Get in on that. Yes, sir. Well, that was worth moving the swim. I only literally moved maybe 15 yards down the bank. Had a bite first cast. There we go. That's my drop shot hook, just in the front of its mouth. It wasn't coming off. Let's give it a quick measure. Ooh. Come on, lay out. Still, please, buddy. Okay. 35. Yeah, 35. Right, let's get this photograph for the Pro Fishing League Cup, whatever it's called, Pro Fishing League. Pro Fishing UK Perch League. Right, compete. Submit catch. Photograph. Use photo. 36. Round up of this, it's gone over 35. So that counts as 36. Let that submit, put the fish back in the net. And submitted. Away it goes. Oh, that's a good bite. That feels like a good fish. Oh, that feels like a good fish. This might be a pike. It feels very heavy and not head shaky. This could be a pike. This could be a pike. I've got it in the net quick. It's far too heavy to be a perch. It's not shaking at all. Oh, it is a perch. Is it? No, it is a pike. Right, don't bite me off, don't bite me off, don't bite me off, don't bite me off. Don't bite me off, don't bite me off. Well, I said it felt like a pike. That is not what we're after on the drop shot. Okay, unhooked and get it back straight away. Okay, little jack pike. There it goes, nutcase, absolute lunatic. Okay, let's try and have a swim a bit further down. Had that one perch and one jack out of here. It's in the second swim we've tried in this stretch of it, since we started catching fish. So we'll just keep moving down, just so we can bump into some more or a better shoal. Okay, right, I fished a handful of swims moving down now. I might try just one more, but if I don't have anything there, I'm going to go back up to where we were catching fish, because it just hasn't been the same number of bites or activity in any other swims further down. The fish might be further back up the stretch, because I didn't really fish the water about 150, 200 yards above where I was catching fish. So maybe go back to where we started. If that's still slow, we'll go up and see if we've moved the shoal up the stretch. Right. Okay, nothing happened here. Let's head back to where we was catching fish. See if we can wake them up again. If not, we'll go back up the stretch instead down. It's very quiet. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to head up. I just spotted up there a group of about 5 or 6 cormorants just popped up. So they're obviously working a bait shoal of some description. And whether it's a shoal of perch or whether it's a shoal of bait fish is sort of irrelevant, because the perch should be nearby. What was that? Anyway, if they're working a shoal of bait, then great, the perch will be not far off. If they're working a shoal of perch, I'm going to go and catch them. So it's definitely gone quiet in the swim. I'll maybe have one more cast and then we'll have a little move. Right, it really doesn't look like it's going to happen anymore here. Definitely fish have swim through enough times to know these fish have switched off a little bit. So I've either moved the shoal or they've switched off, either. There's no point in flogging a dead horse. So we'll go for a little wander back up towards where the car is. It's about a 45-minute walk back to the car. We'll drop into a few pegs on the way and just see if we can locate either the same shoal that's moved or another shoal. So I think that's got to be the plan now. Well, I think that is a straw that broke the camel's back as such. I've had a nice day, I've had a caught a few fish, but I think I cannot be bothered to set up again. So we're going to call it a day there, and we'll round it off with a little bit of an outro. Okay, that's what we're going to call it a day. That last lost rig there was enough to tip me over the edge and make me want to go home. Whether I actually go home or not, I'm not sure. I might go somewhere else, but it won't be in this video. So we're going to call it a day there. I really enjoyed myself. It turned out to be quite a short session in the end. 2, maybe 3 hours, but I caught enough fish to keep me entertained, and I caught one drop shot, which is not something I do very often, and I do have to get better at it. So yeah, it was nice couple of hours spent on the river catching fish, and the river's been knackered for so long. It's just been nice to be back out on them, to be honest. Catching fish has just been an absolute bonus. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you learned something. Like I said, all the gear I've listed will be in the, all the gear I've used will be listed in the description. So if you are wondering what I've been using, hooks, mainline leader, reels, rods, all of that will be in the description with links to where you can buy it. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.